Is it 6? It is 5:02. If we're ready, I'll call. I can start reading. Good evening and welcome to the Personnel Committee. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. In accordance with the regulation of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be available to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information also provided for members of the public that would like to view the meeting remotely. To view remotely from a computer, please use the link below, which is on the agenda to join the public meeting webinar, or from a phone, dial toll-free 888-475-4499, enter member ID 307-950-7589. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed. Just press the pound when asked. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those recently anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Note, all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion for extent permitted by open meeting law. So first agenda item is called meeting to order, which we just did. Public comment. Do we have any public comment from the committee? Okay, I do. I emailed with Heather from our last meeting, and in her response, she asked with the second, I think it might be helpful for the personnel committee to attend a select board meeting to give an update on the process. The steps have been taken since last year, and what the goal is ATM updates to comp class plan. With the second or third Tuesday of February work for you? Also, just a clarification, the ATM warrant closes on the 18th, not the 13th. I put the 13th in my email because that's when we want to be done. I know when it closes, but we want to be closed for the 13th. So I wanted to reach out to my committee to see on the second or third Tuesday work for anybody here on the group. I can do the third. I can't do the first because that's my city council meeting. And then we're meeting, I believe, on the 2nd was one of our
7th and then the 12th.
the 12th, which would be that second.
Monday.
Oh, that's a Monday, the
That's a
12th is a
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the third would work for other members. So I wanted to throw that out clear to
Maybe
you.
we should
So
just
she
meet
said
that
the
Tuesday.
The second Tuesday or the third.
Right, which would be your meeting Monday, Tuesday in the same week. Or we could do Monday meeting that we have on the calendar and then the following week, Tuesday.
Wait.
The 2 days. The 12th, the second or third Tuesday of February, which Donna has a calendar in front of us.
Yeah, does it require all of us?
It would be nice if we as a team,
See, I have a very important meeting right there.
what's that say? I can't see, I'm blind. Pickleball, oh, that's very important. What time is that?
That's from 5:30 to 8:30,
Oh, that's, yeah, so, and that's your second, so let's go to your third.
same thing. It's every week.
Oh, it's every week, all right. So you could be dismissed.
Actually, I cannot do this day
Okay,
because I'm gonna get my eyes dilated. right
Oh,
there and I
good.
won't be able to see anything.
all right, Sue, would you be able to do the 20th?
I'm going
She's
home
gone.
in February. Remember?
This is becoming a problem.
I can do it by phone, but that doesn't help. the
Can you
select board
zoom in?
meeting.
Because
Yeah,
they
probably.
offer both. The
Hmm?
select board meetings offer, so you could zoom if that works, and then we'll see if Wendy can do the 20th. Perfect, okay, thank you.
So
I just wanted to share that with my team that I'm not going out the scope of my group. Okay, so now that was done. Do we have any public comment from the public? Okay. Approval of minutes of January 17th. Sue emailed them. Did you email those out? Yeah, I have them right here. Sue did not, Wendy did with the packet. Julie did with the packet. So do we have any comment on the meeting minutes?
that was-
Take a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I make a motion. that we
I will
accept
second that. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the meeting minutes are all set. Ongoing business. Public safety coordinator job description revision and position rating.
I don't want that.
So we're on
Sure,
the junior's classification book. So I'm sharing this kind of- You got one? Okay, and we just need the job description of the public safety coordinator. Thank you, great job. This for me, is this you, Amanda, or is there a new part? I didn't know if it was a new position.
This would be new to the SAP.
Yes.
Can you tell me what seeks the grants? What does that entail?
Part of it is grant writing and part of it is to pull out records that, do you want us to sit up there? Is that easier?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'd have to pile behind them.
Oh. A lot of it is compiling statistical information also, not only that, but also part of the grant writing, certain grants that that party would be writing for. me.
So they prepare the grant
Correct.
as part of it. Okay.
This is called in our grid, not in our grid.
So it's a new position,
Oh, it's a new position. Okay, thank you.
so that's why I took out what you had in there. The most comparable
it
to now is the public safety head clerk coordinator, which is the fire side of this position, but
Was there something in
different.
this before that you removed?
I think you had the public safety head clerk coordinator,
From the fire side.
Yeah, we didn't have one.
like when you were doing the step to it, that's what it was, you put the step.
We don't
Whatever,
have this one.
I deleted that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm on the correct version, which I might not be.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah, go ahead. Still looking for it.
So number one, knowledge, training, and education is our first classification.
So I just need to make sure I'm on the right row.
Okay,
So this was public safety head clerk coordinator?
I put it all the way down at the bottom
No,
in
but I'm
yellow.
not looking at yours. It was, correct?
No,
Oh,
it's a new position.
Fire.
So I
No, no,
entered
no,
it at the very end of the spreadsheet and it was highlighted in yellow like the other three.
public safety coordinator?
Yes, that's the actual
That's the
current
union-
name.
That's the union position.
There we go.
Okay.
Very, very last
And
position
it's
on
all,
there.
yeah, it's all blank. across it.
Yes,
Oh,
there we go.
thank you.
and just for my, I thought I heard, I want to clarify, does the fire department have this position currently? And now we're matching what the fire department has.
This is a position that is completely different from
Okay.
fire.
Okay, I didn't know if we could look at
They're
your,
both administrative assistants to the chiefs
Chiefs.
on the side, but different.
okay,
in
I didn't know if grid
duties.
wise, we want to kind of make sure they matched up. And we weren't paying someone over and it's the same
Yeah.
position, that's all, within the same building. Okay, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. So on drainage knowledge, and, I'm sorry, knowledge, training, and education.
Would it be helpful if, as we go through this, if I gave you my input to start? And
You
No.
good? If you-
Sure, that's
then-
fine.
Because it's just because I have, institutional knowledge of these jobs.
Sure, yeah, that was helpful.
When I look at knowledge and training, I look at number 4, which would match the position that currently.
So the difference here would be that 4 is for bachelor's degree and what you wrote in your description is associate.
Correct, but the training that goes along with it would be equivalent to a bachelor's. The amount of training and requirements that we're gonna look for would be equal to that.
Wouldn't that be experience? Not
Both.
education?
Both education and experience, and that's how we kind of categorize that as knowledge, training, and education.
So in our categories, we break education to one element and experience to a second element. So
I agree, but if we read the first line where it says high level of specialized knowledge of the field, that would be the equivalent to what we're looking at.
Do they need to be certified in certain things?
Yes,
Yeah.
Corey certified, they have to be CJIS certified. We're gonna require that they become certified in purchasing through the state. So there's a lot of requirements that go on.
Should those be listed under additional requirements?
I believe we did. I think.
I have valid Class D certification in EAD, CPR, and CJIS certified,
That's the
which is
Corey.
Corey.
That's the Corey CJIS requirements.
MCPPO and the notaries under education and experience.
Yeah.
They're right above that.
Right above it.
It's the, okay, MCPPO, thank
Yeah.
you.
And then below it, the additional requirements for the CPR, the CJIS requirements.
All right,
See, this is a-
I could go between the 3 or the 4, going on, Susan 3,
I actually think it's a little more than 3. It's one of those that kind of sit.
right, that's why I'm like, I could go
So I'm
either way.
okay with putting it in 4, and let's see at the end when we finish.
4, okay.
And
Are
see
you
where
okay with the-
experience ends up,
Okay.
because we've given them extra points on this side for that already.
Makes sense,
80.
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, level of experience. Chief,
Standard minimum 3 to 5.
okay, 3.
3? Is that what you got, Chief?
So what I'm trying to do, so I'm sorry, I'm a little like behind here, right? What I'm trying to do is to make sure that the job description matches what your opinion is.
Right,
Okay,
and we
so,
are.
okay,
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
We-
You
We're
said
all in the
3.
doing the same.
which the requirement is 3 years.
Yeah,
Three
it
of
says
that.
it right in there.
all right.
So-
So what's that?
I think
30.
the chief's watched some videos and he's right on target with the,
So I have
30? Oh, thank you.
The second time I've been here, so third.
you have some experience. in
and
this
30
now.
is correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Supervision received required.
So this is the oversight question.
So I have a part-time clerical person within our facility. I also have a desk clerk, the front desk, that she oversees that part of it.
This one is you overseeing her.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, no,
How
everybody,
much do you have to require
Yeah.
over this
She
position?
oversees what I do, so technically she's the boss. And I'm just
I
here
see.
to-
you just go along with it, makes everybody happy.
Yeah, it's general oversight. It's, she has her tasks to do and it's general oversight. And it's,
Limited daily supervision.
yeah, absolutely.
So this says general supervision, which is a degree 3.
Number 3.
I
Actually,
know.
So which one do you
actually,
mean?
Saying it's
Number
four.
4, the
said
four,
general
okay.
oversight.
General oversight.
So that's gotta
Oh,
change.
I-
Versus general supervision.
So it's general oversight. I thought I
Julie,
saw.
you concerned that there are words you said, what are you changing? I'm not sure, I didn't get that.
Changing supervision to
But
oversight.
he had said general supervision, which is
In
3.
here, or just,
Yeah.
where is it?
Under supervision required, right now it says works under the general supervision of the police chief, but he's saying under the general oversight. So it's 2
Oh, here
different
it is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, back page, first page, back side. So, and you're saying it's general oversight, so it would be 4.
So does that imply that you're gonna change the job description or?
That's what you
Yes.
just,
Okay.
which is something that we need to change all of them that have had edits all along.
Yeah.
Like sooner than later, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I can get that, that'd be awesome. All right, so you said 4, which is 20.
supervision exercise, now this is the part-timer,
Small number?
I jumped.
That's okay.
I would say, a 3.
a 3.
Seems too high.
Yeah, seems like it should be small number of employees, not moderate number of employees.
You said there were 2.
It's 4. If you go down below where it says trains assigned supervisors responsible for the activities. So I'm looking at
If you look at 2. it's the
I'm
same.
looking at 3, there's 2 paragraphs in 3.
Yeah.
The top part obviously doesn't apply, but it says or trains assigned supervisors. So when I look at or, that means it's either one of those that fits in there. It's not in.
I'm not,
So
Does that make
she, but
sense?
she
So-
In
hires
here,
2.
I
There's
know,
a-
but I'm not sure I get why
The
it's,
biggest thing that we were talking about when we went through this was the quality of work. If you read in that paragraph, that this position will be is responsible for the quality of work for those other two employees.
So there's two paragraphs. The top one is obviously doesn't apply.
And 2 says not
Not
responsible.
required.
Right, and to me, it's this, the two civilian employees I have, she is responsible, and gives them daily assignments. One of the part-time people takes care of her invoices and everything else, and she has to oversee that. So that's what we're looking at in that second part of the paragraph where it says trains, assigns, and supervises. I don't just put somebody in those positions, she's gonna have to overlook it. I can't do it.
Right.
That's.
Well, and for me, the other difference there is 2 says participates in hiring, and here it says assists or is responsible.
And it is, when we interviewed those other two positions, integral part,
Right.
right, because that realm of that position is beyond
Mhm.
what my knowledge
Right.
is for that, so that's why we put it in that
Yeah,
position.
I understand.
So you're saying you think it's a 4?
3.
Three,
3.
Three.
I want to make sure.
And so is that 60?
Yeah.
60, if you all agree, I'm
Yep.
sorry,
That's fine.
okay. So accountability.
This is not our current job description, so I have to format that, and I noticed when we had the consultant do it, they left out accountability
And some
piece of
yes.
it,
Okay.
so,
I think I
Put it
did.
in.
Oh, you
I think
did?
I put
Okay,
in
good.
the- Yeah,
where is it?
Accountability, right under additional.
Oh, yeah, I see it, okay, good, thank you.
yeah, I think we, part of that, we noticed that, so.
Right under the additional requirements.
It's been so long since I looked at it with you.
Good work.
So tell me what kind of errors you think create the financial losses and damage?
Payroll, if those are mistakes, it's FSLA rules that we have to follow,
The invoice.
could be pretty damaging. When we
But
talk
they're easy
about,
to detect, those.
yes and no, our payroll is pretty difficult.
But if your employee doesn't get the right pay, they
Oh,
would
yeah.
certainly raise. their
Oh, yeah,
costs.
and it's with union members, obviously, it gets to the point of grievances and, that could be
Sure.
some repercussions on that. When we talk about grants, misinformation or errors could cost us a grant, it could cost us some significant amount of money that we would financially look in there. Some of the stuff that we deal with is confidential. Errors that are missed in that could cost a lawsuit for the town or for the department. So it's pretty significant. Does that answer
See-
your question? Okay.
So you're recommending it be a
4.
4? I would say
Kind of
3.
around.
I would tell you that the title of this job description does not equate the explanation you're giving us
Which-
about the
What
contract of
title,
work.
what title do you have?
It says police executive assistant.
Correct. An executive assistant is a little more than a public safety coordinator.
We went back and forth about what the title should be.
Right, and this is through multiple discussions to get to that point.
So
I would argue that it's a 4, just because of the complications that we see on a daily basis and what we deal with. This is unlike any other position that you have in town that is at this level. There could be some tremendous loss if things aren't corrected or caught right away. Not to say that she would make those errors, but those are things that it's pretty significant at our level here.
Well, because I'll say, I could give an example. I had an issue with my neighbor and there was a police report involved. And we both got copies of the police report, and on the report, she got my social security number, which usually would be redacted, because that's, and she got the report with my whole
It's not you. though,
social
is it?
security number on
It's
top
just
of
an
it.
example, wasn't.
Okay.
I didn't do that. as an
No, no.
example.
Yeah, I'm like,
No,
not your
I'm
position,
saying- I'm
like
giving
your
Sue an
position's not
example of the
responsible for this.
Well, that
confidentiality.
was an example of a real life situation that you're describing,
It
which happened
was.
to you. Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't one neighbor there.
I mean,
It was under different chief, different administration, but yes,
you know, when I
because
look at
that's how
this,
quickly things can
Yeah.
happen, was my.
I think 4 is a stretch, but I can live with it.
What?
I think 4 is a stretch, but I can live with it.
Okay, Sue, Donna,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
40.
okay, so the next one, 6, judgment, which is right under accountability,
I would say a 3, standard
standard
judgment.
judgment.
Makes sense. In words, it's read that way as well.
Mhm.
60.
I'm sorry, did you say yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
60.
complexity of position,
I would say a 3, with that, the position requires work, that routines and methodologies are planned. Obviously, we're very organized, policies and procedures wise and routine, so I would put that at 3.
I think that rings true, and it's written that way.
okay,
60.
Ms. Donna. 8, personal contact interaction, personal contact,
Rated it as a 4. Contact with coworkers and non-coworkers can be moderately complex. Again, the position is unlike positions in similar categories because of the people that we deal with on a regular basis. Not only the coworkers, but people from the public also. And we can get complex situations that develop routinely or regularly.
which she's in there. And just the last sentence we analyzed because she's in the building all day.
Yes, correct.
So 4 is 80.
4 is 40.
4, did you say? Oh,
That was number 8.
oh,
It's
sorry,
40.
sorry. Yeah, 40. I was looking at complexity.
Is that what you were asking, Amanda? 4.
No, I was on complexity, but it's personal
Personal
confirmation. Yeah.
Personal contact number 8.
Number 8.
Now we're on 9, confidential information.
So this is where we differ from a lot of positions, especially with the confidential information. As you know, the police department holds quite a bit of information, whether it's related to criminal or civil matters. A lot of that information is kept in-house. The release of that information could be extremely damaging. The other part of it is, as my assistant, she's exposed to personnel information, the personnel files, and also the negotiations that go on with other union members.
So you're saying 4.
I think this is one of those unique places that probably is true.
I do too.
80.
10, occupational hazards risks.
For job, I would say at a 3 at that position. It's minimal exposure, but there are exposures, especially in that lobby. Things can get hostile, and you just never know the nature of our organization and what she may be exposed to.
And do you have contact with prisoners in feeding them, serving lunch, breakfast, any
You know,
type of, no? Okay.
but supply lines and stuff like that, if she has to go back in that cell block, you may be exposed to bloodborne pathogens and different hazards that are back there.
Okay.
How often does that happen, or has it happened in the past?
Well,
In this position?
in this position, I mean, I would say not like an everyday basis, but when we have to do our supply list and we have to do different checks back there, when we invoice different things for, say, cleaning the cell, if we have somebody in there that defecated in the cell and we have to get it clean, somebody's got to make sure the invoice is correct and the job is done correct. So there are minimum exposures. It's not a daily thing, but there is a possibility. Ourselves in my.
So what was that at 3,
I
right?
said, yeah, I believe. Three.
Work environment.
2, typical office or shop area, conditions prevail. The hazards that we explained were in the last part of it, so I think 2 is appropriate here.
I'm all set with the 2.
40.
And the last one, physical demands.
Work for me, it's pretty demanding. So, I would list that at like a 7.
It's kind of like mental.
We put it at 2.
That is 2,
Yeah,
yep,
just because of typical office moving.
I'm okay with the 2.
Change it very, fit in here anywhere. To 30, so that works. 2 works.
40?
2 is 40.
Hmm? 610.
What is that? Yes,
So 9,
the new line.
new 9.
It's an 8 in Winchester.
Winchester?
Winchester, I'm
Winchester.
sorry. It's an 8.
It's our new 9. Their 8 is our
She's got
9.
both. She's just been tracking.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can
we've
vote?
been looking at
Okay.
those.
Anything else for them?
And 610 is pretty.
In the middle.
In the middle to high. So
That great.
most of the things that had a question about whether we pushed it over too far wouldn't
It
have
wouldn't
made
change.
much change. to
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that.
So
Awesome.
we're in agreement with what,
Awesome. Anything else you
recommend it?
need from this? Or from me?
do you want to do
Julie, you took note of the change.
I have that one
change.
change, yes, but
Okay.
if you'll keep notes and then give them all back to me, so I
Yeah.
can make all the,
I'm not doing that one. That's a brand new one, right? Didn't you just mark it on your own?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
okay.
I mean,
I'll send you an email. Jim. I got more.
I can do that, but that was it.
I would just like an inclusive list of all of the changes to make.
You already have about a third of them I gave to you already, about 5 weeks ago. Remember you and I met? So you have those. So I'll look to see the changes since then. It's mostly been 2 or 3 from like the
confidentiality was the,
confidentiality ones.
adding that one blurb line that we did.
Yeah, just to make sure I have everything, some change the weight.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones that she gave me that meeting that I wasn't at, so it'd just be helpful in speeding up the process.
So the next committee rating
Thank you.
Thank you.
of positions, payroll benefit coordinator. Is someone coming on?
She's on here,
Who's she?
she's
Heather or-
Nancy, and Heather's
Okay,
here.
perfect.
Who else is on? So I can keep track.
Where's Bill's?
Your
Is
husband's
Bill's on here?
Is your,
Oh, okay, last one.
is your husband supposed to be on this meeting or a different meeting?
No, he's now the liaison
So
for the
he's-
finance committee.
Oh, so he's coming on this meeting, okay.
Yeah, because we have a financial impact. So they voted, and then they voted to see if it was a conflict, because he's my husband, and Chris Menard and Karen Menard, he got put on parks. So I guess they've now, so he's on
So
there.
who's on the, it's just so I can keep track of it.
Who's on Zoom? So
I
Nancy
can't see the
knows.
screen good.
Nancy?
I can't see. I'm sorry, I'm blind. Joanne, what's that top name? Can you see? I can't see. I get cataracts
ask.
from my,
Oh, yeah,
from my
that's right.
keyboard. I got
So
cataracts.
Heather,
Hi, Heather.
Nancy,
Heather, Nancy,
Pauline, and Jay,
Jay, Pauline.
and that's me, the top
and-
one's me.
Okay, thank you. Jason. Young.
Jason.
Jay.
Okay,
Oh, sorry. I just said Jason Young.
Jason Young. All right, so the first one we're doing is payroll and benefits coordinator.
I'm just gonna shut off my screen just because I'm gonna be looking at the job description as we're going along.
Hi, Nancy.
Hello.
We miss not seeing you.
I'm back.
Okay, so is everybody set?
Yep.
1, knowledge training education.
So we had a question on this one.
Mhm,
We
go ahead.
have multiple questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on this one, under knowledge and training, the question was, because both payroll and benefits, should this rating, should the points on this one, the degree, be higher than it is already? Is the job
What is it
description
currently?
correct? It's 60,
Which is what, a 3?
which is a 3.
Yes,
And where is it?
because we want associate's degree in business administration.
What page is that on?
The last, almost the last one,
Right.
associate's degree in business administration and 5 years payroll benefit administration experience.
Question,
Yeah,
is,
sorry.
are we looking at this, it has changes in it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
So we're gonna change the job description and oh, thank
yeah,
you,
this is what Heather
thank you.
had reclassified, yeah.
Associates is a degree 3.
Huh?
Associates is a degree 3.
3.
Heather, is that how you ranked it?
I'm sorry, I can break up. Yeah. Mm,
See, and I would say 4 only because, as you said, she's got to know all the
Which I
benefits.
want to know what she did. I couldn't hear. She
Yeah.
didn't hear us, I don't think.
Heather, where did you rank? Did you rank in a number?
I'm trying to find mine, so come back to you.
No, I apologize.
I think they end up getting extra points for the next one, which is the 4, because they rated
Yeah.
5 or better years, they would go to a degree 4, which ups it.
So just, so
3
this,
and then 4.
this review, all of these reviews were the employee, myself, and Heather.
Oh, good.
So these
Thank you.
were the changes that we kind of all
Okay.
agreed on, so now it's just looking at ratings. So if it says associates, it must be a degree 3.
Is what Heather's recommending?
I mean, we agreed to this,
Which-
Nancy, her and I. yeah.
Which leaves this the same, this one.
60, yeah.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
And the
un-
second one.
Thank you,
is-
Julie.
The experience then looks like it could go to a 4. Is that what you agreed on? It's
Experience is
and
5
above.
years.
Minimum of 5, up to 7 is 2 and 4. And the way it's read, it's at least 5 years.
And 5 years.
I believe that would indicate that it's a 4.
Does that bump it to 60 pounds?
40.
If that's what it is now.
Was
That
it a
didn't
4 now?
change it at
So
all.
5 to 7 years, I gotta specify that.
And that's why we asked if the job description was correct.
Yeah.
So 3 and then 4, 60 and then 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we giving her there, the 4?
4,
Yeah,
which
it
is
is.
5 to 7. It has 5. They need at least 5, it's just.
I'm gonna
it'll
clarify that
smooth it
to
out,
7.
Level of experience, we just did, supervision received.
As I recall, this position is back reporting to the finance manager.
Finance director, yeah.
Yes.
So the question is how much oversight, and I would guess that there isn't a whole lot. She's pretty independent, except for
Yep, so general
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 oversight.
supervision establishes own work and plan and priorities.
Okay, because I want to stop here, because just to put us in a mindset. The group that was just here, kind of management role, office manager, running the staff, the business sewer person, manager, and I see Nancy at that same level in the benefit, just, this is what I see. You don't have to see that, but I see Nancy just as Julie in those same, Julie even a little higher in those same roles as managers, they're not clerks. And so I just want to make sure we're grading the sewer manager, the police manager, and the business payroll benefit manager in those same numbers.
Or similar.
Similar in
It
that,
depends on various
Right.
things, so.
and especially with risk manager, years of service. Right,
No,
years of
years
service,
doesn't- No,
it's compelled,
no.
where new people coming in shouldn't be making more than someone who's been in that manager role for 20 years.
No. I mean,
Why? Because
time
they
in-
move on
time
a
in the
grid.
job isn't really a factor when we set up these grades. It's a factor is what step they're in probably.
Right,
how
and moves
they get
them
to
on
the
a
top.
grid.
Right, but it doesn't really change the job description.
Right, it doesn't change the job description.
No, but it changes where they fall on the grid. So what I'm saying, the two new managers coming in wouldn't bypass her salary.
Unless they. And we decided as a group that experience elsewhere was worth bringing them higher in step grade than normal.
Okay.
We've done that a couple of times in the
Yeah,
last
I
year.
just want to
Right,
publicly say,
So I
because I
was
think we
thinking this
keep
is a 5,
scribbling.
then. Julie, because you said there was a
Um,
general oversight and no direct daily
It says
supervision?
general direction.
I agree with that.
Is that what you intended? What did you intend? I didn't.
The description says general direction. General direction is like a
When-
3, general supervision. What is it
I agree
now?
with the 5.
20 points.
Oh,
don't know what it
I
is.
see what you mean. I think 3 is too low because I don't think when you're doing.
Okay, 20
payroll-
points is a 4.
It's a 4 right now.
I think it's a
And we
4.
questioned whether it should be a 5. That was our question.
I think it falls between a 4 and 5.
Yeah,
I do too.
So we should change that wording to that.
So I would put that as a 5. Thank you, Nick. Supervision exercised.
hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Do the words then need to change?
Yeah, that's what
That's
Julie
what she
said.
was just saying.
And how do you
I mean, I would copy it right from that paragraph for the most part. Yeah.
pull that paragraph in?
So even if I just know like what degree I'm looking at, that's, so I marked
So we
that.
put it as a 4?
5.
5.
And you got the 25?
25.
She doesn't have any staff she oversees. And she doesn't train anybody. Do any of that, so she'd be a 1 there.
Which is 20, right?
Is that what you previously?
One is
said?
20.
20.
Okay. Accountability.
On the top, second page.
Hey, listen, shouldn't-
On the very right above essential functions, that sentence right there is the accountability piece.
Oh, it just doesn't have a,
No,
oh,
they just wanted it, looking for a title.
I'm like, I can't find accountability, Julie.
No title.
All right, errors could result in adverse impact on employees, morale, confusion, delay, could have legal and or financial repercussions. Yeah, I would think hers is.
This one isn't easy to read because of.
I know, that's why I
find
asked the
words
question
I'm
about
looking
it.
for. So I can see that in this particular role, because when you set up anyone for benefits, if you don't do it correctly, you could absolutely impact someone's ability to either have insurance or not have insurance. The payroll can be adjusted easily, one paycheck to the next, but if you forget to give someone their life insurance or not put their children on the benefit program correctly, then it's not easy to then fix those after the fact.
Was this one in
Right.
question?
This
Because
one is
nothing
in,
changed here.
this one is in question.
Okay.
We questioned it because the difference between the degree 6 and the degree 7 are some just wording. It's,
Okay.
and work can impact entire divisions versus impact management and operations of entire municipal organization.
What was it before?
Before it was a,
6.
it's a 6, but it says, can impact entire divisions. So it's really the wording of entire division versus an entire municipality.
Yeah, because I don't know, I know in Maynard, it didn't get submitted in time and we get paid on Thursdays. And because of that, we didn't get our paychecks till Friday.
Mm.
And that impacts people because they have direct deposit, they have things pulling out of their bank
Right.
account.
Mhm.
And they know what day that money's coming and they schedule, which cause banking fees, which then the city town had to reimburse them those banking fees, so there is financial costs associated, and it is the entire town payroll.
Yeah, what's division versus department? Like I look at division as a segment of a department, like sewer is a division of the DPW.
And the
Department.
division is DPW, and he's got sewer, like in Fitchburg, there's the sewer department, the water department, under the
Oh, you're the
DPW
division.
as the division.
I think it's
Vice
the
versa,
reverse here.
reverse of what I said, okay.
Mm. Because way they worded it. So it was a 6 or was it 5?
It's 70 points right now. What
It's-
is that?
It's a 7.
It's a 7.
That's a sub.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't see the whole comment.
I know, that's what I said, you have to like click edit and then you
have
can
to
see
edit.
it.
Well, except I can't, still. Wait, I'm
Oh,
saying
really?
Edit, yeah, and I
How
can't,
did you in the group?
I can't grab it.
I didn't personally rate this, looking at it now is between a 5 and a 6.
That's what I was thinking. Heather?
Yeah.
I don't think she can hear me.
Heather, can you hear Sue?
Yes.
Curious of where you thought this should land. Accountability.
Hold on. Trying to pivot between different documents.
We currently have her as,
Under the assumption we were just going over the position description and those changes, but
On this one, we felt as though that there were some areas that needed to be really checked once you redid the job description of whether it matched how we had rated it. And this is one of those areas. 7 seems too high.
I don't think so.
Wish I could grab the whole comment, I just can't. I want to see what it said. It says, difference between degree 6 and degree 7 is tricky for this position.
Why don't we go back to this, let her look at it, and we'll just come back to it. Cause that one's always hard to.
Judgment,
I think it's 4. That's to make it less. Is that how we ranked
We
it?
have it 60 points.
That's a 3.
that's a 3.
You got this memorized, huh? The point system, wow.
Yeah. Have it written.
Yeah, she's got cheat.
Oh, I have to use my,
scores next to it.
I know, I have to keep using this, yeah.
Yeah, I penciled mine in.
Yeah.
I had to, too many times I had to go.
I have the shakes from this process.
Jeez. All right, so judgment we're on, sorry. What is it now? Didn't hear what you said.
We have it currently.
Standard.
Standard judgment position. Oh, I don't want it to perform. Ah.
I think we did that because in this particular role, we're asking about judgment. So when you look at things, you know what you should do with them. And that they were pretty standard application for what you should do with them. So you look at a piece of paper and say, how do I do this? And it's pretty clear what should happen. There isn't a whole lot of, like, unlike what we talked about with the police
not
department, there's all
analysis.
kinds of things that could impact
Mm.
what's going on. In here, we're talking about the payroll system or the benefit system, which is pretty standardized in terms of judgment. So they put things where they belong because the methodology is there to do that, I would guess. So
Was
we
this
had
one
it
also
in
in
3.
question?
No, not. in
Oh,
question.
okay. So,
We had it in 3,
Mhm.
right? And that seems
Yeah, it
60
seems
points, that seems appropriate.
At what?
3, that's what we had last time. I had 60 points.
Right.
Because we gave her points elsewhere.
I think I don't agree.
But you know what, honestly, in the last ones that we have done, if we had highlighted anything in the row, we only went back to those things we highlighted.
that's what I was
Where there
wondering.
was comments, that's, and
That's where I
those are
was
the only
going
ones
with
we
this.
re-reviewed. So this one is not up for a re-review, there was no,
Right, this is the first row.
this is the,
This is the first job description we're going through. it.
today,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes, correct.
I think it's different because in this particular role, there are very standardized things they have to do. And in the other, some of the other roles that we've mentioned, that many things could happen, that they then have to have a decision process around what should happen.
Mhm.
Because there aren't as many methodologies in the sewer or the police department
No,
or.
But
and the
Munis doesn't
DPW
work
too,
on
same
any
as-
given day. Munis is down, Munis did something wrong. There's problems with the system Nancy works in every day. That she has, to, and I just know that from my payroll in Pittsburgh with
Sure.
Munis.
But
And the
the
thing,
rules are still there. Joe. the rules
I'm
are still
sorry,
there.
I was talking.
The rules are still there, though.
No, they're not, because we gotta figure out how we're gonna get it fixed to get people paid. So she's
But
on,
she
the-
doesn't get it fixed. Either IT gets it fixed or municipality makes a connection into the central system to get it done.
I
right.
think that our payroll person is the one on the phone with Munis.
yes, on the phone, but they're not coming up with ideas about how to fix it, just like, hey, it's not working.
It's not working today, go fix
Right,
it.
Yeah,
but
go
they
fix
might
it.
have to reroute Nancy to do something different in Munis to get it to work.
Yeah, but
So it's
she's
not
not
DP, so-
deciding those things, someone else is making those decisions for her. So the role is really quite prescriptive when it comes to that. Try this,
Mhm.
okay, try this other thing, okay, but she's not like, oh, what do I try next? It's prescriptive in that way.
Are we not thinking of it correctly?
No, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
let's,
Did
I'm
you all
wondering
talk
too.
about this at length?
no, we all looked at it like kind of individually. But I would say leave it, and if it's an area that we need to go back to, then
Okay.
we'll look
Okay,
at that. So flag that.
so the next one is not flagged. We're
Heather,
gonna
did you want
skip
us to go back to accountability?
Yes,
It is. It's not flagged on it.
5, 6, or 7.
it.
5 was
Comments.
flagged, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Heather, all set.
I
there.
had accountability as degree 6.
So it's 60, what's it?
Why am I on 7 if we're on accountability?
We went back, we skipped
We-
over it
yeah, we
because
went back.
Heather
She
had to
wasn't
find her
ready.
She
paper.
needed to,
Yeah.
Oh.
she needed to take. a
So we
look at it.
Oh,
just
okay.
kept
So I'm
moving. and
gonna,
whatnot.
I'm moving that from 70 to a 60.
No, if we need to,
Yeah, because I'm not in agreement with that, so,
Okay,
but whatever
all
we
right, I'll make
vote,
a note.
whatever we vote, thank you.
But, so. What I'm confused about is, we didn't have questions on this particular
Issue last
column
time.
the last time we did this.
We've never done this. Nancy's job description, we've not sit and done.
We
Or I
did,
was not
did do
here.
it.
we
I-
did do it.
I was not here for that
Okay.
meeting.
We did
This
do
is
it.
my first time
because-
sitting looking at Nancy's, and I just did 2 other people in the last 2 weeks that I feel we're looking at very differently than we're looking at Nancy's. That's all.
Let's see at the end where it is. and
That's
then
all, I'm
we'll-
gonna- and that's when I'll make my
Yep.
bigger statements. So
All right.
that's why I'm saying, okay, let's go to the next one, because where she falls at the end is what I'm concerned about. So,
Okay,
So we're on 7, which is complex.
7, we're on complexity of position, correct?
There's a question or there's not a
Is that
question on
open?
this?
there was not a question,
And what was it?
but it sounds like there is a
Well,
question.
we'll
No,
go
no,
first.
what was
What
her
was it?
rating?
Let's
What
try
was
to-
her rating? I
What
was
was
in here.
It was 6.
It was
60,
16,
which is a 3.
which is a 3.
Okay.
Do you want to, oh, if you didn't, go ahead. If you didn't review it, go
No,
ahead.
no, that's fine. I'll wait till the end and see where she falls out.
What were the other questions?
So that under personal contacts, it is currently 40 points, which is degree 4. And we questioned whether it was too low and it should be higher.
So it's, I just saw it in here somewhere. It's employee, retirees. Like insurance company, like, you know, the vendor reps.
Frequent contact with department heads.
Where do you see that? I'm
On the
looking for it.
first page,
Oh.
under job environment. Frequent contact with department.
There we go,
heads,
thank you.
employees, Retirees, insurance companies, and relevant federal and state agencies.
Yes.
So
There was
one
no
of the
change to
differences
that.
in 4, it talks about frequent, more frequent. So 3 was less, and then 4 said a little bit more frequent, and 5 says frequent. So it's kind of like a progressive,
Mm.
how much of it is there?
And these things crossed out, does that mean she no longer does them? And she previously did?
Yes, and or it's been reworded in red
Okay,
in another, yes.
It was 4, it's 40 before.
I would say there's an argument to say it's 5. I mean, a lot of these categories, not everything fits to a T.
Right.
and what was she previously?
4.
4, I would move her to a 5.
50. All right.
That was personal contact interaction. You're over here, love.
I'm over here.
Can you squeeze by me? Okay, found your WB.
Okay, confidentiality.
We're doing Nancy's, and we are on confidentiality number 9.
Got it, thank you.
There wasn't a question. Only at 80 points.
It's constantly what?
It's a
There
4.
was not a question on it.
But it was more,
It's at.
80,
was
which
it?
is 4.
Yes.
Significant amount of confidential.
I'm trying to find my job description.
On the end of page 1. Nancy and Heather, I have a question for you guys. On the collective bargaining agreements, at this stage, it's not a confidential document. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. In the position description?
Yes, so at this, point, it says, has confidential information such as the collective bargaining agreements. By the time it's rolled out, it's not confidential?
So prior to this right before negotiations or
Okay.
during.
Okay. I just want to make sure that's right. Thank you.
And she's currently a 4? Yeah, we said at 80.
Wouldn't they also be responsible for, what's the, when you have to, tap someone's pay?
Garnish?
Garnish.
I was gonna say,
Garnish.
I was gonna say you'd have
Garnish.
state like a DOR levy,
Should- there
Child
isn't
support.
Much in there about, that would be confidential.
I think that
garnishments.
would be.
Well, that
good.
goes in the personal records.
but as far as on the payroll side of it, you're setting up and executing that.
Yeah. it's- right. Such as,
And
I
she
think
no
it-
longer does
sorry.
queries?
No.
So, because I think it's a 5, but again, I'll. Go to vote of the people.
What you just asked me?
Hmm?
The levies, garnishments. What was I looking for before that? I lost my train of thought. I was looking at the essential functions. I just want to see if that is specific.
I'm comfortable that 4 captures some of that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's only one person at a 5 in the whole grid.
Huh?
There's only one person at a 5 on this in the whole grid. It's Julie. And I'm not arguing one way or the other.
Do the
I'm just
court
pointing out
orders,
that
like
it
for the
is.
mandated payment come through you, Julie, or do they go directly to Nancy?
Probably directly to her. She processes and then they should have in the personnel file. Which I have. Is that right? Nancy?
Yep, well, for town employees, but
Town.
school employees wouldn't, but town would.
Go to that.
Heather, how did you look at this one?
I'm sorry, I missed what category you're on now.
Confidential. Between a degree 4 and a degree 5.
I would say a 4.
We rated it the 4 the last time.
Mhm.
Okay. Y'all agree with the 4?
I'm okay with it.
Occupational hazard and risks, number 10.
Any questions on
Two.
these?
It
Oh,
was a
20
2,
20 points.
oh, 1.
1.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess the next three are 2020.
20 points.
Yeah. Standard.
Work environment. With what, 1?
Standard office environment. 2020 is what we did.
So you don't pick up boxes of copy paper, Nancy?
Not usually, just a
Okay.
ream at a time.
Okay, perfect.
I wanna know how much the big water jugs weigh.
Yeah,
Having to
those are-
lift that and
yeah.
flip that
Oh, and
over.
flip it over.
That's
Take off the
awful.
top and then-
Oh my God.
So what's her,
Especially
That's
when
my,
you're,
that's my.
when you're
Stop it.
vertically challenged too.
Yep,
so what was Nancy?
515.
515?
Yeah.
And we
Is that
just did the police safety person and she came in at what?
610.
So this is a new 8. This executive assistant came in at a new 9.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, me neither. Her boss came with her and they provided an excellent job and they matched up. He did a great representation for her.
I think the biggest difference, Wendy, was that
Is welcome.
was the diversity of the work that did not have standard procedures. So payroll has more standard procedures and he felt as though their work had less standard things happened and they had to then decide how to handle them
And what
differently.
was Paula's rating from last week's meeting?
I don't know, because I didn't get any of that. I wasn't here.
Oh, I thought they
Should be
updated
on
your
there.
sheet.
It should be on there.
Well, it's on
Yeah.
a sheet.
Should be on the one, this is 117 that we've been working on.
And a couple of the other things in the police, she sought out and filled out the RFPs for grants and followed to try to get grants for the police department, which was a little bit different. So wasn't really standardized work. It was kind of like you got to figure out how to write the RFP to get a grant. So that's some of the things that were slightly different in hers.
So now, under which category do you want to know what the school business manager?
I think she wanted the total, what her grade is at. The
Oh, the
re-rated.
total was 655.
So that's a new 10.
Yeah, I can't. I
No,
don't know
it's-
what,
It says 7 in this.
I-
Just
I
can't
might
be
not have updated that.
I
number.
want
that
to,
was the old number.
right. Okay, so it's a
Sorry.
new, it's a 10?
and I want to be clear, I don't
Does that sound right,
disagree
Bill?
with the numbers we just gave.
Okay,
The
thank
the
you.
police,
This is seven.
I don't,
Okay, so
Right.
new 10 then.
I want to be clear that I'm not disagreeing with what we gave the business manager. I'm not disagreeing with what we gave
Right.
the public safety coordinator. I think they deserve what we gave them. But I think Nancy is in that same category as those two people, and that she would be in that area of those two people.
Right.
That's my concern.
Mine as well.
So again, this isn't set in stone. I think, again, looking at like the org chart and just logically thinking this is not a flawless system. So it's something, keep it, we have to go through all these. This was like the final review of the positions, do the rating, and then we're gonna have to tear through, again, hopefully in homework.
Well, I think her
And
job description
look
could
through
be
this.
written better as Bill did, as the police chief did. And they now took the job description and matched what we were looking for within our scope of Winchton,
true.
She- right? So the first sentence in every one of Chief's category was where he was
Yeah.
placing her. You could go right to
But
number 4.
essentially, that's where all the descriptions are, and the goal would, over time, will be to
Right.
make sure what degree they're on all reads as the manual
Right.
says. And going forward, when you create descriptions, that's what it's going
Right.
to look at.
But I want to be clear that you and Nancy deserve that same thing. That's your job description
All
and
positions,
Nancy's
yeah.
job description deserve that same
But yeah, it's easier when you're
Alignment.
creating them from
Alignment.
scratch.
alignment, and you deserve it. And I'm gonna look for you to be a little higher than that. Because you're the assistant town manager and the HR director, so I'm gonna look that yours is a little higher, and then wait till we get to Bill.
I know.
Because Bill's a whole different ballgame. He should be up with the police chief, fire chief, and he's what, I looked at one of the, you're like the third department head from the bottom, or the second or third from the
Second or
bottom.
third.
As the DPW director for the town of Lunenburg. And usually they're right below, it goes, usually police, fire, DPW. So these are the conversations I'm having, because I want to sleep knowing my community workers are getting paid what they deserve.
Could I just, so this is one part of the process, right? This isn't the end all determination of that the employees are gonna be.
Correct.
So, yeah, I just want to make sure staff knows that when we're going through this process, or the personnel committee is going through this process. And I want to put out information that they.
But
not
that, and Heather, that end number is gonna put them on a grid.
I thought I understood that this is just a exercise, and there could be adjustment from there if they don't look like they're falling in the right place.
Correct,
Correct.
and that's next step is once we finish finalizing our last few revisions to job descriptions and re-rating, then it's still looking at it saying, okay, do any of these still seem like they're not falling into place?
The best way is dissecting it by grade, looking to see what the.
Well,
common
right, when you look at every
denominator
grade,
is.
that's what you guys had started to do, was to look at those, everybody who sits at grade X,
Where do they fall now?
does it look
Right.
alike? If it doesn't,
Very
then it's a
minor-
reevaluation.
Yeah, very minor discrepancies.
Yep.
So.
All right, so I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. All right, so that's done. Moving on to our next one. Thank you, Heather.
Welcome.
Our next one, we just did Nancy. Now we have Assistant Town Manager HR. Thank you.
All right.
And is this the first
Oh,
time we're
I
all
always
seeing
change
this?
that,
It is for me. So I don't know
We've
if you
done this
guys,
one
if it was at one of the meetings I missed, do you have
I don't
ratings
think we've
for?
done this one.
Also,
did.
it's
I
32
wasn't
hours,
at
it's
that
not
one.
28 hours,
Oh, we
guys.
did do it once.
We
I
did do
wasn't
it
at that
once.
meeting,
We
but
did
you
do it
guys did
once.
do it,
Because
yeah.
we
We
have
did.
points in across the
did do
whole
it
thing.
once.
So
Just
did
so
you
everybody knows,
hear?
32 hours, not 28.
She got moved up
Yes.
to 32 hours.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Okay,
Still not.
number one,
Now,
no,
are we gonna, do we want to go through every one
We
or
don't
only
need
the
to.
ones
You
we
tell
had
me.
questions
I
on?
think
Which
it's
one?
just a-
I didn't want to rehash the whole thing. We've
Okay.
already done it.
Which, any-
There were things that we talked about at one of the last meetings, Julie, where you said,
I wasn't at the last meeting. I wasn't at this
one of
meeting.
the last meetings when you and I and,
oh, you added some of
yeah.
the jobs you did that weren't.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
reflected.
yes,
They
so,
weren't in the job description, so
Right.
we asked.
And
you
that's,
to-
you'll see them in
and they're
red.
in the
all
job
things.
description now. So those are the things we need to look at
Yes.
with this job description.
So she does purchasing,
Procurement.
Yeah.
procurement, and we didn't have that anywhere in any of our information before. So it was like, when she happened to mention it haphazardly, and it's like, you do what? That isn't in
Yeah.
your job description.
okay, so what?
And
are
I
we-
think the supervision, I don't know if that was under one, but that's the first area that was
Level of
revised.
experience. Level of experience we think is too low, and I have in here purchasing discipline, but this was before we knew about procurement.
And then I think we changed to,
So what was,
It was at
level of
40
experience
points.
before?
it was 5 to 7, we changed it 7 to 10.
Absolutely.
Which one are we on?
This is under level of experience.
It was a degree
Number
4,
2,
And
4,
now it's a 5.
40,
now
and
it's a 5.
should be a 5 and 50.
What's the next one?
Level of experience is a
Otherwise, I'm gonna lose
60.
track.
60 points.
But if we up it, did we up it to 10 to 15? Because that's.
No, I just had it wrong on my sheet. 7 to 10.
Yeah, which is 5.
Okay,
Is it correctly stated now?
so it's 50, okay. I got that
Oh,
wrong. then.
yeah, it's updated.
Okay, and then the next one we had questions on was complexity. It's currently 80 points, which is
Complex, number 7, complexity of the position.
80 points is 4.
And we
It's
said-
currently at what level?
it's currently 80 points, which
So
is
that's
a degree
20.
4.
So we have her at a 4 for 20.
And for 20? 21.
2 times 8 is, 2 times 4 is 80. So that tells me she's at a number 4.
Okay.
In that particular category.
Yeah.
Just a math.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm very good.
And I'm saying, so should this be higher? The question was, should this be higher? A degree 5?
Yes, yes,
I agree, I agree.
without a
so-
question.
Go ahead, Heather.
I had this as a 6.
Yeah,
So how many points is that?
120.
120, right?
Yep.
What's next?
Only if we had questions.
So
on it.
what's her
if
score?
there's-
The only one they
660.
modified was the
660.
supervision aspect of Heather.
660. And I'm sorry, don't be mad at me.
I'm not
Can
mad
you
at
repeat to me, the business, the sewer number?
Oh.
I didn't write
Can we
them down.
finish this one first
Yeah,
before we
let's-
jump?
Let's make sure that we,
Do-
like,
She's
are
at
there
660.
any other areas?
I know, but I want her to total it all, get
It's
across.
660.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, we
We
got
were
that,
talking
we
to
were
you.
talking, we got that first. They're like, she said the 660. I wrote it down.
she updated with Heather the supervision piece, so I think we should look at that.
Oh, thank you. Supervision exercise or received?
It was both,
Exercise, right? At least.
received and
Yeah,
it was
it's-
both. I don't
All right,
recall, I
let's do
think
both
so.
of those.
So talk to us, what is number 3, she's currently at what?
What is number 3?
Supervision received required,
30 points.
30 points. So is
Okay.
this 10 and she's at a 3?
She's a 6.
Is that correct, Sue?
She's a degree 6 right now, 30.
That's right. Okay, that didn't change. And then the next one.
No direct supervision.
No,
We gotta check
supervision.
it. Degree 6.
No, the next one is supervision
So
exercise.
30
Right,
points.
so that's,
Hmm.
so the
It's
3
fine.
is changed.
No, didn't
Okay.
Oh, it's
change.
only 5.
So
Yeah.
4 is what? How many points?
20.
1.
Supervision exercises, no direct reports.
Is that changed?
Number 3, we have, we're on number 3, right?
No, we finished it, I think.
Although there's no direct reports, there's also Julie's involved in hiring and discipline, which would include hiring employees as well as any performance issues.
That to me looks more like a 5.
For supervision given, exercise.
Yes.
Um,
To Heather's point. Where is it currently?
She adds counsel
20 points, which
to
is,
directors around their employee
One.
relations issues. Is that the issue?
So 20 points would
It's
be a
currently
4,
oh, no,
would be a 4.
No.
no, supervision.
20 points is a 1.
One.
Oh, no, they're on supervision received or supervision exercise?
Exercise.
Exercise, sorry.
Number 4.
One is 20 points. Degree 1 is
Okay.
where it currently is.
What?
That's what I'm
She doesn't
telling you. I'm just
supervise-
reading
Doesn't
it.
supervise anyone.
Can I say I wasn't at this meeting? Just for the record, I was not at this meeting.
This is just
Neither was
pure
I.
supervision. So her employee relations where she gives counsel and her recruitment is just part of her work. It isn't a supervisory issue. This is just a supervisory issue. Supervise, so I can see that she, might, if you're doing a backup of the town manager, you're overseeing the admin person perhaps.
So Heather, are you saying you want her as a 4?
I think that's more appropriate.
Well, yeah, because that's where,
Supervision exercise? So she's taking this, she's
or,
doing what
correct,
the.
the same as the police chief
same
did,
as the police
or
Yeah,
trains,
Mm,
assigned,
going through the or.
supervise.
yep.
So I'm fine with the 4.
Yes.
And I would say, I would move her, I would be comfortable moving her to a 5, because I believe she oversees the payroll benefits.
No,
No.
No, you don't do anything, who does?
that's finance.
Oh, okay,
So then, under the 4, you have no direct reports, so you're not supervising people, but are you taking the or part of that paragraph and saying that you train, assign, supervise, and you're responsible for the activities and the quality of work of a moderate number of employees?
yes,
What would
So
that
that's
be?
really what you're,
yes.
okay.
What would it be?
What would what be?
What does that work look like? I'm not sure I understand what that work is.
So that is more like if there's a quality of work, the discipline aspect of it. If it's a discipline action, then I'm involved with those situations.
Right. It says
Not
not.
on a day-to-day, I don't oversee
Okay.
this position.
Do you do much training?
And if there's a quality of work issue,
I send out training like materials. We've done some training.
Okay,
I can look at that.
all right.
Okay. And then did we look
Yeah.
at 3? Oh, sorry,
What is that? How many points?
80.
did I miss us looking at 3? Because I thought we said both.
I had it in red. I wasn't sure if it was a change or not. It was just a clarification.
That's supervision received.
Yes,
It's 6 and 30, and it's actually worded that way in the job description.
it's six.
Yes.
Okay, so that one's fine. That is
Mhm.
6.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stop drinking.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna stop drinking.
Were there any others that?
Were there any other outliers?
There was nothing else that had comments to it, but.
Was
I'm
there
okay
anything, I was
reading-
not here for the first,
I wasn't either.
okay.
So we increased the experience, which would have picked up the purchasing piece.
Mhm.
We
So
added
what she
some
said.
time that would have helped
720.
That's right.
complexity. We
What
added
you-
complexity that helped.
What is it?
So I don't know what the total is
720.
now.
720.
Where's that?
That's
now?
on the cusp of a 10 and 11. So the way I look at these, where they fall on the exact cusp, if it ends on 720,
Still
the next one would be
less than
721.
sales director, land use
So,
director,
you know what I mean?
DPW
So I mean, you can't
director,
end on
fire
720 and start on 720.
I would
So
do the
I always up
opposite.
it more.
I would do the
I
opposite
would
as
do
well.
the opposite. I would end it at 99 and
I
20
agree.
is the new one.
Yep,
I-
that's how I would do it.
Because you're sitting way at the top.
Great.
Okay. So 719 is what you're saying. Yeah,
All of these 644.
yeah. We'll have to double check all that then.
I don't think we left anyone sitting on the cusp.
No, I don't. think
We
so.
absolutely did not.
No.
No.
Because even though we said that, we didn't go back and quality check all that, but we can now that,
We can,
Okay.
but
yeah. we'll
I
check.
know we,
I don't remember anybody sitting there like that.
Right.
So that's a new
Okay.
11.
Is that,
new 11 old
is
14.
that, with that number to new 11?
720.
Where was this?
Yeah. 16.
It wasn't 9, so that's.
It's okay, because I thought about this like hierarchy wise, I think. That's
Yep.
why
Yep,
I
I
feel
gotcha.
like
I gotcha.
there's certain ones that are
Yep.
being realistic.
Okay, so we all set with that one?
I think so.
Okay, cruising, we're cruising with fire right now.
Save the best for last.
Yeah, how we doing?
Come on over.
No offense to anybody else.
Here we go.
We
Like,
should've
why
put 'em
didn't we
first.
just say we're gonna go out of order?
We should.
I kind of wondered that when I came
Well-
in and I said, well, maybe I
Poor
missed
guys.
something.
Well, I
or-
think this is gonna be a bigger topic.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was anticipating.
Okay, he's becoming more proficient at this than
He's like,
anybody.
he's taking notes.
Bill's gonna create his own rating. then
And
we'll
last
use
of all,
that
so-
going
I'd rather not.
Sure.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, so
Oh, here.
the areas that are in question.
Okay,
Are they open?
You can see the edits.
so are we
There's
just,
only one open item for
Oh.
this, that's before this change in the job description.
Yeah, so start with your open item and then
The
we'll
open
back into
item
the
was
changes.
under supervision received / required. And it said, should this be a degree, should be a degree 6 or 30, which it currently is. We must have changed it.
we must have changed it.
Yeah. So,
Say unless I accidentally did that when I was playing around and saved it.
so
Right.
otherwise,
Agreed.
there's nothing.
And a 30, and that's okay.
So where are we at points wise right now? Just as a-
820.
So I go through and look at the edits, yes?
Yes.
Well, we're not, because I don't know, Bill, can I ask you, looking at, you were here for that initial, and I tried to get you arguing, I tried to get you higher points. But so do you now, looking at this, sitting with and going through, what categories do you feel we want to, you recommend we move you up? Let's
Right.
start with that.
Yep, so first one, knowledge and training,
Yes, we currently have him at
80.4.
4.
I would say 6, right? Because of the last 3 sentences in 6, right? Strong skills and applying knowledge, supervisory management position, it requires experience in hiring, firing, training, mentoring, training. That's what the position involves.
I agree. I'll leave it to my cohorts.
What is it now?
80 points.
4. And you're recommending that it should be a 6.
Correct.
For 120.
So just the words in the, if I'm looking at the right category here, it says that the knowledge and skills, knowledge, training and education. It says the strong base of knowledge of related standard procedures, equivalent to, did you say 6 or 7? Yeah.
Six.
Six.
Equivalent to a doctoral degree curriculum.
That's the first sentence.
Yes.
But the last 3 sentences in 6 are not in 5, which is I think, one of the strongest components of his position, which is not included in number 5.
I would agree with Bill that this is more a 6 than the original rating. And like I said in my prior comment, sometimes the description doesn't match to a T. There's
Yep.
the majority, most of it is fits the job's role.
It's currently what?
A 4.
He's at a
4.
Make other, because you're looking at where it says bachelor's degree, but reading beyond.
right.
degree.
I think
That's what I'm
in
saying.
some of these cases, the wording is making us
Yes.
put an image in our head that
Because of that.
doesn't necessarily translate.
to the position.
And I would say where we're looking for a PE, like preferred
Right.
to have an engineer.
I can support Heather's agreement.
I could support that too. I would just caution us that we, based on what you just said about the wording, that we, even though we've got now, we're almost at the end, right? So we just need to
We are
make
at the
sure,
end.
right, we are at the end. We need to make sure that we are giving these last ones the same kind of lens as we gave the first.
Correct.
So we need to be
It's most
careful about, doing that.
And we may
That's-
see that as we look at the very end and look across
Mhm,
the
yeah,
board.
as we look across
Some
and try
may
to analyze.
Pop up and say, oh, we did that one early, and we may want to re-examine it because
Correct.
it looks too close to what we did for
Mhm.
someone else.
Yeah.
And what I'm comfortable with is though, 2 meetings ago, we sat and went through all of our previous people we did
Mhm, yeah.
and said, okay, are there people that look crazy?
Yeah, yeah.
And you 2 met and we reevaluated them, so they all looked, and that's why I'm letting go of my earlier statement till the end, because I'm assuming after we finish with this next level, we'll now make sure there's no outliers that
Mhm, yeah.
look funky.
And this is really the last piece that
Correct.
we didn't have, which is a
Correct.
big piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. Well, that's why now I'm saying, okay, where did we just put those
Yeah,
other
where-
4?
yeah.
Because I learned from the first set, when we went back and looked, there were some people that weren't
Yep.
matching up, that were
Yep.
very low or very high.
Yep.
Or even now Nancy's position, for example, it's seeming like that one is sticking out in my head
It's
to me.
still an
like
outlier. I think.
It's an outlier.
It's an
So
outlier.
again,
I mean,
that's-
honestly, Julie's might be an outlier. too.
I agree
Correct.
as well.
I think the 2 of them,
Right.
Let's finish
So-
the detail.
But yes, no, definitely
Yep.
this, but
So this
I
is-
agree.
go ahead, Bill, sorry.
Bill,
We
we
can all tangent on that.
digressed.
That's okay.
That's
I
a
think the
120.
next one
So
to-
wait, where did we land on that?
One-
Knowledge
You were
Six,
giving him a
120.
6, 120.
120.
Go ahead.
The next one to look at is personal contact. Each headed at a
Personal
5. I think
Personal
it-
contact, I
We don't
haven't
have
heard that
one.
one.
Yeah, we do.
What is it? What number is it?
Personal contact, I don't know.
That's for confidentiality.
It's confidentiality, number
Right,
7?
it's
No.
4.
Yeah.
Oh, personal contact interaction, 8, the 8 items.
Yep, number 8, so you
What was it
previously scored it as a 5, I say it's a 6, based on the sentence in it, it says, analyze and present information and make recommendations for action to senior staff and or policymakers. Right, so there may be times when the DPW director has to present something to the select board, right, the policymakers.
Mhm.
Heather,
Yes,
how do you feel about that?
I would agree.
I'm fine. And that number 8, what is the point system, is it 10 or 20?
Okay.
10,
It was a degree 5 to 50, now it's going to be a degree 6.
6 to 60.
60. Okay, what's the next one?
Confidential.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that the words in here support that. So do we need to make an adjustment to the words? I don't think so, because it's more subjective, this particular issue.
I think she's.
I think
asking
it's
Julie-
okay. Yeah,
I think it's okay.
he's
Julie?
got complex and yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
All right, what's next one?
So confidential, you added as 3, I would advocate it's 4. 4 includes bid proposals, which when something's out the bid, and if contractor calls, you can't talk to them about it. It has to be a formal question and answer, right? So that's confidential information. And then the other statement there is position may include developing policies and procedures that have broad organizational impact. That's a possibility with the DPW director position also.
That was my comment. The bid proposals, the only time that they're confidential is if you have an RFP and you're analyzing the non-price proposal, because at that point, the price is not, that's held confidential until you've made somewhat of a review and a decision on the non-price piece.
Well,
To
they
what
open
you're
them up.
speaking to, the questions go out in an addendum, which goes out to everybody. So there's really no confidentiality there, because anybody who asks a question, if it's modifying or clarifying, if it's clarifying, that's one thing. But if it's modifying or changing the document or the form in itself, then you have to put it out in an addendum, so there's no confidentiality with that.
Right. Except if a contractor calls me directly and starts asking questions.
But
you know,
that's
you can't-
fine, then you
can't
write
talk
them
to
down and then it goes out in an addendum.
Right.
So you're making a case to leave it as a 3?
I
Who's
am.
making a
Who's
case
made
to
a
increase
case to
it?
bring it to a 4?
What,
But I'm
um,
looking at, if I go and look at the whole grid.
Yeah.
And where everyone
I have
is,
this as a 40, whatever that is.
this will be an outlier.
2
2 is a 40?
in this category.
What is it at right
So
now?
they're 20
It's
points.
at 60 right
They're
now.
20
Oh,
points each.
then I really differ. Yeah, because the only thing, well, I'll let Heather speak to it.
Heather,
Yes.
we're on confidential?
Mhm.
So how do you, I think you heard what Bill said, so your comment to that?
I still think it fits a 4, just not relative to, I agree with Julie on the discussion on the bid proposals. But there's still a, involvement in employee personnel information that's confidential.
That fits more securely in a 3, I'm not sure.
So I agree it's a 4, you agree it's a 4, Bill agrees it's a 4. Where's the other committee members?
Well,
I think
I'm,
The other
I'm
piece
looking-
of that, besides bid proposals, is position may include developing policies and procedures that have a broad organizational impact. That's a difference, which
Okay. We didn't have before?
and other positions who have the word director in their title would be, would they have the same kind of rating in your mind, or would it be different?
Depends.
Depends, or,
as far as that fitting category 4,
yeah,
I think it would depend. I would have to, so review their job description.
My
bump it up
suggestion,
2 steps.
my
2 degrees.
suggestion, Julie, is when we're done this, you might want to make sure that she really looks at all her own direct reports and how they, yeah. Because it is different when you're playing with it tonight, that you're moving them around and then you kind of lose track of who's on what place.
Right, and that's kind of like the
So
next one is
the
looking at
recommendation
everybody's
is in this
consistency.
particular category 9, to move it from a 3 to a 4, which changes it from 60 points to 80 points.
I'm in agreement.
Is that what you have, Bill?
Yep.
Okay.
Wendy?
Yes.
Any other, Bill?
Okay.
Yeah, the last 3. So occupational hazards, you had it as a 3, I think it's 4. What did I say 4? The last sentence, right, hazard risks
60 points.
in this position is a possibility of incapacitating, I can't even say the word, incapacitating accident, injury, or health hazard. So part of my job is to be out on the road when there's road construction going on. That's one of the most dangerous jobs out there, standing next to an open hole on a roadway with cars going by and a backhoe next to you. So there's always a risk there.
I agree. That might make sense.
What is it?
It was a 3 for 60 and it's.
4 for 80 now.
So, work environment, you had it as a 2, I believe it should be a 3. Second line in 3, work environment typically includes outdoor work, which may include inclement weather and extreme weather conditions. And then further down, it also talks about driving motorized vehicles. So again, like the snow, I could be out in the snow.
I had you at a
I
4,
could be
Bill.
driving.
Or just being in there with the fumes.
I had you at a 4 last meeting. And they, because I know you're out in the weather.
Yeah.
Guy breaks down, you go help him.
I think the difference was, we had it as a 2,
And the difference was.
periodic outdoor work or.
And what the job description said, what the role was versus what you might do. Choose to do as part of the job. And that's kind of where we differed.
Right there. Chili dip afternoon, we added something in the job description.
So there's the addition right there on the first page. There's
What's the difference between what's highlighted in yellow and what's in red?
Those are the additions?
those,
Red's the
yes,
additions, yellow
Yeah.
is what?
Yeah,
they
That's-
changes new change.
Oh, they're
new-
both new changes.
Could be.
I'm red.
You're red.
We all got a color.
So that last exposure to upstream and working with chemicals, noise levels vary from extreme to quit.
To quite work. That's a spelling error.
Where is that? Oh, to quiet.
Quiet.
To quiet.
Well, then there's a paragraph on the very last page that also speaks to this particular
I'll
item.
check wouldn't pick that up, 'cause it's spelled right.
Nope, it won't.
No.
So we have a 2,
Yes.
2 for 40.
Yeah,
The recommendation is to go to 3 to 60.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now that Bill's gonna be an outlier when we're all done.
Well, we'll see
It's
that.
so.
We'll see that when we look at the rest.
What, too high, you think?
The points are gonna be very high. In
As it
relation
relates to
to
other-
others, this is what's
others
gonna happen,
like you.
as
We'll
part of the
see.
next step, we'll see.
But this-
Well, and that's why
part of the
I've
review.
said in every municipality, if you go around, it goes fire, police, DPW. Because they are 3 different people that are 24/7, they're in the snow, they're in the heat, they're opening shelters. They're doing all these things while still running a staff of 30 people, contractors that are plowing. And he is out in the snow. I know, I see my DPW director out in the snowstorm all the time. He's helping guys that broke down, he's clearing a, they're out there. And that's why I had this argument at the first go around, because I just know what I see.
But to be fair, we were going based off of the job description,
I-
which
I
is
hear you.
was the
Oh, no, I'm not
argument.
criticizing
Okay.
anybody.
Okay.
I'm not,
Because, it's like, all right, that's fine, maybe
Right.
the job description's wrong, so we need to
Right.
adjust the job description. So,
Exactly.
Right,
correct.
which has been done.
yeah.
So
Yes.
Heather, are you okay with changing this up to, from a degree
That's why
240
there's
to a
always such a big
degree
gap of
3?
those 3.
Hmm.
Is it even, right, in your community, isn't it?
I
We're
think,
walking up-
yes, a 3.
Okay.
By
That's
bill
what-
description, if, like, I think has been brought up before, if this is something that happens, you know, not just once in a while, but is a pattern on a regular basis.
And that was the last one, or did you have?
And then
The
physical
physical.
demands,
Yeah.
again, 2 to 3. But it's the last couple lines, right? That it's different in 3. Work may occasionally be frequently performed in inclement or extreme weather condition, and position requires agility, including ability to walk over difficult terrain, heights, and confined spaces. So, you know, any construction site,
Mhm.
it's gonna be difficult
Right.
terrain, so,
And that's why these grades are higher
yeah.
than a 5 for supervisory.
That makes sense. And it's written
So that
What
goes
does
to
that change it to?
a 3.
from a 240 to a 3.
What is it?
950.
950, which is,
So it's a 14, new 14,
it just drops into 14.
which would have been an old 17.
Okay,
I don't think we're using 17s.
nice work.
That,
I agree with that number, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay,
All right, that's it.
that's it. Thank you. Great job. Thank you, Heather.
You know, I do have, not Bill's position. Thank you, Bill, for being there and,
You're
answering questions. On Nancy's position on the payroll benefits coordinator position, can you review where it landed with all the different categories?
I got it right here. So Nancy finished today at 5:15. Is that what you're?
No, she's
Not
asking
Not the
each-
total, just the different
You want
categories.
to know each of these, what degree they were.
All right, go ahead, read them.
I can't, I can tell her the points,
Oh,
can't tell her the degree.
go ahead, tell me the points.
60 on the knowledge training.
3.
That's a 3.
Can you hear Heather okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Are you just gonna write them all down, or do you
Yeah.
want discussion on each? Okay. The level of experience was 40 points.
It's 4,
Supervision, 25 points.
5,
Supervision exercise, 20 points.
1,
Accountability, 60 points.
6.
This is one that changed.
Accountability.
Accountability
This is one that
increased.
increased.
Okay,
Judgment is 60 points.
3.
Complexity, 60 points.
That's also a 3.
Personal contact, 50 points.
5,
Confidential info, 80 points.
4,
And then the last 3, occupational, 20 points.
1, 1, 1.
111. Occupational work environment, physical demand, all ones.
I would review 6 and 7. I think they are probably maybe a
Ones were-
degree higher.
Is that complexity and personal contact?
Yeah, complexity and judgment.
Oh,
So the difference is 3.
Higher or lower, Heather?
Higher.
Thank you. Standard judgment versus considerable judgment. And can you talk out your reason for wanting to up that? Just so we know.
I think just reading the 2 descriptions, and I actually referred back to, because the finance director, now the interim finance director, had filled out as well, rating, and she would have direct knowledge of working, being Nancy's supervisor, and rated this a 4.5 for the judgment.
I actually
And
think that
I
could
agree.
fit. That could fit.
I agree. Thank you. And what the next one was complexity?
80.
Oh,
So
sorry.
we're changing that from a 3, which is
3 to a 4.
4.
And then complexity, we wanted, she's currently at,
60.
so 3. And you want to, where did the finance director say she should go?
A 4. I'm sorry, wrong one. Complexity. She rated that 4.
So I bumped that. to 85. Is that, would that bump that? one?
Yes, to
This
80.
one
It would bump them both up.
to
Yeah.
80.
Yeah, because I thought it should be 5, so I'm okay with the 4.
Well, 6 bumps up 1 and that bumps up.
Were those the only 2?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So
And-
it's 60 points to.
So it's 30 more points between the 2 categories.
What's the final number?
5:45.
7 is 10 points.
It was 5:15. That means it's
It's in the
5:45
same-
now.
I could say
Same
It's
grade.
still square in the middle of. It's
Judgment's 80.
21.
And then the next one would be 80
80.
points as well.
Yeah, which would get you 545. So
it's sitting in the middle of. the same.
Yeah.
5, 5, 5.
555. Okay. Is there anybody else you want us to look at? Heather?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, we're here if you want to come back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're all finished with that. Now, review SAP salary survey results. Thank you.
Gonna need magnifying glasses, but.
I won't.
Take your manuals, the reading guide.
Yes.
Those out of the
I
way
had
here.
questions on.
Thank you.
So you don't have to read back your manual, Sue, or do you take yours?
She takes hers.
I copied it myself.
Perfect,
You may have mine.
thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. And the magnifying glass.
Stuff to look at. I had questions though. You have all rows filled in and there's gaps in the positions. Is that because, for example, there are 2 library pages, page 1 and page 2? So under first 2 rows? Is that what that means?
I'm sorry.
So I was looking at this earlier today
Yeah.
and then I was like, well, I don't get this. Like in row 1 is for library page.
Mhm.
And then row 2, there's no row,
That's
there's no
the-
job.
If you look under where it says Lunenburg ASIC, that's the min and max of that grade. Of that position. So that 1461 and 1797
Yeah,
is the min max for grade 1. In grade 1 is just the library page. So both
Oh.
lines apply to that. So if you go down to say the grade 4, where, Jesus, it's like a dot on there. You'll see the min max for each position in there. And then you'll see the clerical union rates.
so that's why there's 2 rows for
Yes,
each
minimum of
job.
the grade, max of the grade.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay. And then so then the number of responses would be the same for the min and the max, because you only got 3, for
Um,
example.
Not necessarily, because there is one which was, I believe, the beach director, where they only gave me the min of 25.
Oh,
Okay,
So, but I mean, that's a piece, like when you only get one answer like that, you're gonna throw it out. It's gonna throw off the whole grade. It's not accurate.
So would you just go across like the very first one and tell us, make sure we know what each of the columns you're
Yeah.
representing, so library page.
So-
Just read across, that'd be helpful.
Yep, so the library page in the blue header, you have the current FY 24 SAP rates
Okay,
for us.
Yep.
The next column is the FY 24 clerical union
there
rates,
is one.
correct?
Yep.
Then you have the following communities that were surveyed, which was Leicester, Townsend, Rutland.
So like
Groton.
Rutland's is the minimum and the maximum?
Yep, min max,
Okay.
min max, min max,
Right,
if they responded. So Groton, Littleton, Air, Westminster, and West Boylston.
so there were 3 people? in
3
the
people that
group?
responded to library page.
there were 3 communities.
Yes,
three
not people, 3
communities, not
communities.
three
No,
employees.
sorry,
Got it.
3 communities.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it, yeah.
And then
But what their average minimum and
The
max
average, yep,
each
of
them
those,
is,
of the
and then-
responses
Okay,
for the min and max. Then the median, again, for the min and max. 75th percentile, then the 90th percentile.
okay.
And then you can see the current FY '24 SAP
Doesn't it say
rate
25%?
percentage, what that difference is to the average of that grade. And then the dollar amount, the differences. The last column is an average of the grade for a minimum and the average of the grade, of the responses received for the maximum. So I did a grade average. So if we were to look at this, if you go down to someone who has more people into it, so, and the more positions in the grade. So grade 4, under grade at the last column, the grade average min and max, you'll see it's a 1764 and 22,
So can you
23.
highlight something for
So-
us? So, because I think there's still a little confusion. For each position, there's 2 numbers listed next to it.
Yes. Minimum of the
Minimum.
grade, maximum range.
Correct.
So,
So step 1,
This-
step 8.
yep, so no one in any of these positions can be higher than the bottom number.
Lower than the bottom, oh, the higher than the bottom number,
What I'm
Correct.
saying
Correct,
is.
higher, correct,
correct. Right now,
correct.
Correct.
Mhm. We're looking at specific.
No,
she's
just
trying
So
to
do,
figure it
so
out.
do
Just
we
trying to figure
see
it out.
here where our current, I'm just looking, so what does the current employee make?
No, don't have that.
That's
That is
not
not
here.
in here.
the minimum and maximum.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of the
It's
range, so
just,
it's
yeah,
all
It's
grades right
trying to
now.
give you a sense of
But each,
competitive
To
wages
the market,
yes,
to the market. That's what this is.
Mhm.
right.
This,
not individual.
right, not
Right.
individual and not sort of what we've been working on. This is definitely going to be very important when we
Yeah.
look at FY '25
Yep.
and the financial impact of the work that we're doing on
Yeah.
FY '25.
Oh, we gotta work on
Right.
24 first, and then
But we
25
have to
will
do 20,
typically.
right, we have to do
spin off
24
that.
first. Where are we now? And then we can look at, okay, so where do we need to adjust perhaps for the
Mhm.
town? Or what's our recommendation going to be to the finance committee?
Right.
Right, so that's kind of,
Looking at those.
fingers crossed we actually get there.
We're getting there.
Well, and looking at, some positions, it's very clear that, the position is definitely sitting well below.
Yeah, if you look at
Sort
some of
of the
these
need.
percentages,
Right.
I mean, and there's
And
some,
some are more
some are like.
toward the average.
there's some that aren't apples to apples. I will say, I don't even know if anybody responded
that's
for
totally
like
true.
payroll, but usually it's payroll and maybe payroll and benefits, but
Yeah.
not the risk manager side.
Mhm.
For my position, it's usually one or the other. So, I think the responses I got was like HR director only. So when they're not apples to apples, that's when you kind of want to throw them out, or you're gonna skew the whole.
Right.
Because Maynard was, from the state list, Maynard was one of the comparisons to Lunenburg.
Mm.
And they have an assistant town administrator, HR director.
So,
So it'll be interesting to see what she makes.
Mhm.
And they're one of our compatible
Mhm.
communities
Yeah.
per the state.
These are the same communities we used for the clerical union.
Do we not use Fitchburg because they didn't want to participate?
City,
The city.
city, they're not
Oh,
They tried
comparable.
to do comparable
Oh,
towns.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
you're,
forget that there's,
Yeah.
I don't think of them as a city. I
And
know.
probably what,
Oh,
4
speak
times
up,
as
help
many
if I miss.
people?
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
You're the
because then
city.
you get into like the bigger departments where say our treasurer collector's department is the treasurer collector, one assistant for the treasurer, one assistant for the collector, there you probably have multiples.
Mm.
Okay, so More
Fitchburg does
people
not.
for staff.
Maynard did. Maynard
Yeah.
had the treasurer collector, and then she had an assistant collector and assistant treasurer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
they
would
create-
you, so I picked one that had a lot of responses, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm at library assistant, because 8 organizations did reply, so that's a nice blended.
Right.
But I'm not sure I understand when you ended up with the figures on the far end, what the credits really mean, and would you just, so we have all these groups.
In red?
Talked about, yeah, in red, talked about
we're less than that.
For what, the minimum,
The,
midpoint?
yep, so Lunenburg's FY 24,
Average.
yes. See if you read the header, the
See,
column,
it's like,
to the average.
And the average is, because we don't know how many employees.
The
there are, so
average
it's
for the
just a
library
plain
assistant,
math.
it's just plain math. What's
plain
the average
math.
of all these numbers? Well,
the average of the minimums and the average of the maximum. So in this case, it's 2062, 1974. There's only 2 positions in that grade.
So
wait.
I
do that
guess I
again.
would look at like Rutland as an outlier.
All right, hold on.
Would you do that?
So to rewind, how I got to 2018, for example, that average is the average of the 2 responses received based on their minimum of the range, which is 2062 and 1974.
Okay,
Oh, wait a minute. I'm lost.
I'm still on the same.
This is, so you're still on library assistant, right?
Mhm. Well, I think that's.
Yeah, but then she's looking at the grade average. The last column is the average of the data collected for the min and the max. So think of your step 1 and your step 8. That's what that is representing, the grade average.
But as you look across those 8 responses.
Yes,
When I look at Rutland, it's out of whack with every other.
correct. That's
would you
probably
throw
more of a
that out?
staff librarian, yes.
Would you
You
throw
don't
that
throw it
out?
out.
I would probably move, yeah, I
Oh,
think
you
it's
did?
definitely, no, I did not. But
Oh.
I
But
would, there's
because it's
things that are gonna
the
skew it.
number.
And that's what
Yeah.
I was saying, like with Nancy's position
Right.
or mine,
Does.
throwing in and just the HR director rate and not considering the assistant town manager piece of it, it's gonna skew the grade and bring down.
There'll always
rating
be
for the
those
other positions in
unusual
there.
Multitask
Yeah,
jobs.
so
But I
that,
would think that we wouldn't want to take a look at our library assistant and include Rutland when we're doing are we better or to the market or not? Because Rutland isn't probably representing our same kind of job. All the others are very close, they're
Hmm.
18
that
to
could be their
22
staff
hours.
librarian though. So that's the thing, like when you throw these out there and you can tell based on like their responses, like they might call their library assistant, a library assistant, and we call them staff librarians.
But if they're paying that person $32 an hour and everybody else is making 18 or 19. it
That's what I'm
isn't-
saying. I
it
would
isn't
put that in with our
comparable.
staff librarian.
you
That's
go.
comparable to our staff
And
librarian.
so, to your point, you take that one and say, we're not gonna count that one.
Not here. I
We're not
would,
gonna include it in the averaging because it's
Mm.
out of whack with the,
In other words, rather than say the response, we know that the responses were 8, but
it's gonna
really
drop to 7.
drop it to 7.
right.
And that I would put in, let me just see Rutland.
So there are a few.
Yeah, I would
that's
put
like-
that in the staff librarian.
Okay,
So that's
Oh,
a change that needs to be
okay.
changed. And also, if you look to its neighbor, Leicester, look what I have as the maximum range of $5.88. So obviously that's a typo.
Oh,
Clearly.
yes,
So,
yeah. That's why we do this.
yes.
right.
So
we
there's
do
things
this.
like that. This is
Okay.
just,
Yeah.
to show you the
This
data
is
that was
all right,
collected,
that's
kind
very
of where we're
helpful.
at,
Good stuff.
Very helpful.
something to digest.
Is there more coming in or is this it?
This is it for that. From here, I think we need to kind of, this is gonna be secondary to looking at the chart that you have for the
Okay.
positions.
And the 1 through, is that which?
These are current.
These are the
Grades.
Current grade,
grades.
current grade.
So
Okay.
before we can even apply this
I just want
to
make sure.
that, we need to get that straightened out.
Yes.
And by that, for those who
Yes.
can't
This
see
is
my
good work.
hand,
Mhm.
is
Now,
the
good work.
new grades.
So just one other question, I lost it.
No, this didn't print very good. That's what say IT, and
No,
it's like
I'm good.
little.
Oh,
Did
so.
you ship this to us?
It's in the,
Yes,
yeah,
well, I
It's in
got
there.
it. Did everyone get it?
it's in the calendar.
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, Oh,
okay.
yeah, it is. So on the last column, grade average min and max.
Yes.
It's the min and max for the grade,
Yes.
not the min and max for the job within the grade.
Correct, because
Okay.
that's already averaged in the,
You mean if there were like 5 or 6 jobs in that
yes,
category?
taking all those min,
Like
And all
there's
the
averaging it, all the
these-
maxes, averaging it, saying this is the new grade.
Could be important.
Just to kind of compare to
this
where
is
we're
good,
at,
yeah.
if you
This
look
is
at
good,
ours,
Okay.
let's pick one that isn't $5.88. So if you look at 6, That average is 2113 to 2772. Our average right now, min max is 1787 to 2198. So it's low.
It's like,
Are you mesmerized by this data?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
that it pays out for-
You glazing over, cause I am.
No, I'm not angry. I mean, I'm not. food
Glazing,
coma.
no, I'm
Yeah.
just glazed.
I was admiring your beauty.
Oh, God.
for the question.
Oh, my God.
good stuff.
Huh?
It's good stuff.
Mm.
This is good, good work.
Excellent.
It makes me feel like we're getting to the end.
Well, sort of, except that
Well,
when you kind of look at the next step, your head starts to
Yeah.
swim
Yep.
a little.
Yeah.
And it's
Because
like,
you have
oh,
everything there, but now you need to put it in order.
Yeah.
So it's almost like how many papers everywhere than organizing.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that we have
Oh.
this,
One other
ahead.
question, sorry.
no,
This is
Knew I
your
had
last
one.
question.
So under, like, on the yellow row.
Yeah.
It says 8 steps.
Yeah,
Does that mean
We have
every?
8 steps.
We have 8
that's
steps.
just us. That's just
Just
us.
She didn't have it for the rest.
Right. I did not ask that question. I know some do have more than 8, some might have less,
Okay, I got it.
but we currently have 8.
And we anticipate we'll stay? Oh, we don't know.
Haven't gotten
We're
there.
gonna have enough of the challenge to go from 20 to 16.
I was
never
gonna
mind.
say, let's deal with the grades first.
Yeah,
now.
there you go.
Steps might work just fine. We
Yeah.
haven't had any
Right.
input, because even when the consultant did it, she left 8
Mhm.
steps.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
okay. So it's 7 o'clock, which is our
Bewitching hour.
bewitching hour. So our next meeting is the 12th, 7th of February.
A week from tonight.
Yeah.
I have to think about that.
That one, off the top of my head, we do not have a link for, so it's gonna be in person only.
Okay. And is it here or?
I believe it's that one. It's either
Here
that
or
one or
this-
that one.
Doesn't matter. I'll see what
Yeah,
you do.
I get it.
So next
I asked
Wednesday,
someone if they would take the notes, because I might be in the car on the phone and it would be impossible for me to take notes. So
I'm the chair.
I took awful notes, but yeah, that's fine.
You did them before, you did good.
Thank you. Wendy.
So I got you, no worries.
Thank you. All
Um,
right, so
got the
next,
I
spreadsheet,
only did
that's
that
my
one, I just
thing.
don't know.
next Wednesday, 5 o'clock, and what is our agendas items for that? Because
We
now
need to
we,
get on a
that.
grid.
correct.
Yeah, well, we need to organize these.
Well, yes, we need to look at
Grades.
outliers first, right? Or are we gonna start working on grid
I
and then?
think, you know, you can only dissect the job description so much until you have to start using
Paper.
other
You have to get
just
them in a
logic
category.
of like where this should
Right.
fall. You know,
So-
you're not gonna put a beach director underneath a lifeguard regardless of how they rate it.
Okay, so to start the grid process, what tools do we need? What do we?
I
So-
would recommend continuing to dissect the working spreadsheet that Donna's been updating each week, looking at it by grade and seeing if anybody's really out of whack per each section. And then referring back to the job description to see if it was just a, hey, I felt this way on that day, or is it backed up by black and white words?
And then what else to accomplish at that meeting? Because I think
Yep,
realistically.
so that's homework.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's
but
homework.
Are you
Yep.
two able to get together and
Yep.
do
And I'm gonna
that?
try
Yep.
to
We're
Okay.
meeting
do it as
tomorrow.
well, do
Oh,
my
good.
own
Okay.
review. It'd be helpful too, if you guys
Yep.
could do a review, so then we can all kind of compare and make sure.
Yeah.
And then I think the salary piece of it, anytime if Scott's available.
We're gonna see him a little bit tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we want you to.
Yes, I would love to do that sooner than
So we-
later.
Yep.
I mean, this is raw data, but I think, you know, if we can start looking at, I can take it so far, but if this is his niche, then let's
We'll see
use
tomorrow
it.
after we see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
After we see
yeah,
it
we'll
tomorrow.
kinda
He's
see
been
what that
playing with it,
says.
so we'll see what he
and we
has
have to figure out, you know, the new grades, you know, the 1 through 16 or whatever we're doing. Are we gonna use 16? We might only use 13. And if so, like, what is that dollar amount at that top step?
Correct.
We could have 5 grades, for example, but that fit, obviously we won't. But if we did, that 5 would be the highest grade. And that's how we'll divvy out the grades based on how we
So-
sort through this. So right now we have, how many grades?
20, right?
No, that we rated. What are the numbers we used?
We've used
There
about
was,
10,
yeah, there was 10 used.
10 used.
There was,
But tonight, we may have changed that,
Okay.
because
Oh,
when we did
that's
yours,
true.
it
That's
adjusted,
true.
it
Yeah,
went up
some of
higher,
them
so
adjusted.
we may have like 11 now.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's a comfortable number. I was thinking somewhere between,
And we were
Around
using,
13.
we only were using 15 before. You know, when we had 20, we never used 20.
right.
now we have 11. We're using 11.
Okay. That's good.
Um,
And I think I think we had an awful lot, some people in 1, 2, and 3 before, and we've almost decimated that whole one,
Mhm.
so I think we've compressed it a little bit because we've dropped some of the
Yeah.
lower ones, because we wanted to make sure that they made at least a minimum wage. by
Exactly.
the state.
And that's where I think it's going to be a good
Yeah.
starting point.
even
And
though
once
we-
you know the high.
We were using less and less at the bottom and the top.
Okay.
that's true.
All right, so next steps, you guys are meeting with Scott, so you'll be able to show us.
I'd like to convince him to come, but
I
I
would
don't
too.
know if he will or not. He was the chairman of this group for about 6 years.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask who's Scott.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was, we've cajoled him
then-
into helping us, so.
So Sue says, I worked with this guy before but then he moved away and so then I find him on LinkedIn and I'm like, he lives in Lunenburg.
He does now, he does now. So- Well, he
So-
always did.
so
He didn't
she
move.
said she reconnected.
He never moved. His
But you
job
get
moved.
Donna around looking for someone.
His
Oh,
job,
yeah, you
his
gotta
job
go.
moved.
Donna goes. She saved
Okay.
us with that. Oh my God, she was wonderful. Thank
So
you.
I have questions though, Julie, about the, one of the, like, sort of the next step that we've been working on, you'll see it in the spreadsheet, is taking the positions, just positions, no people's
No,
names or
no, yeah.
anything, but there might be multiple people in a position
Mhm.
name, in a job name. And so we've been adding rows so that we can see what grade and step, it's the step piece that,
Where
right,
people are at.
So
where
what's the
people are at,
impact?
so that we can know the impact.
Well,
Of
right,
what,
because if everybody's at a step 8, that's a totally different impact than if,
Correct.
half of them are at step 3 and,
2 already.
yeah.
right, and we also want to be able to look at it and say, well, if this job and the number within the job stays at, goes to this new grade, what is the financial piece? Would it be the same for them? Is it way off? Like, is that an outlier? That's like the next
Right.
set of outliers, right? This is why your head starts to swim. And so we started to do that, but I think the grid that you gave us, that you went through and pulled the job names
Mhm.
and the grade and steps,
Mhm.
I think that there are differences in the names between what you gave me and what we have.
Did you see my email yesterday?
I did.
You
And I
You
went
still
through
have
and looked at
questions.
it, but it's like, call EMT-advanced. That's in our spreadsheet that we've been working off of. But I'm pretty sure it's like a call something advanced EMT
AEMT.
or AEMT.
Yeah.
But so that means that everything that I currently have, now I'm like, crap.
I looked at everything you had. I changed things.
But I'm missing current steps on call EMT advanced and call paramedic because they're still in this spreadsheet.
They might not be filled, might not have
Oh,
somebody in that position.
oh, okay. I just
But
figured you
like
forgot it.
this one we just did tonight, you won't have
I think
historical
those still-
data.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
They might still be highlighted in yellow,
'Cause
but
it's
some
in-
might
So it's really
unhighlighted.
a TBD. Yeah, you
Yeah.
unhighlighted everything, and I was like, but these are still missing.
Yeah, because there's
Okay,
no
now that
vacancy.
makes
I mean,
sense.
there's
All right,
Thank
not
you.
filled.
Thank you. All right, not filled. All right, good.
okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Okay, so we have next steps for next Tuesday. next
A lot of
Wednesday.
homework to
Okay.
do in a week.
A lot of
Okay.
homework during the week, yeah.
No time.
I make a motion that we adjourn. the meeting.
Thank you.
Second.
And that's at what time?
7:07.
7:07.
Oh, almost.
Thank you. If there's anybody left on Zoom, I don't know. Oh, I didn't do public comment. Is Bill?
Nope.
Is there anybody left on Zoom that would have like public comment?
And there's no committee comment? I
Well,
thought for
we
sure
were-
you were gonna get on your soapbox.
No. I'm waiting till it, I'm trusting my peers that at the end, we're gonna look at outliers
Yeah.
and we'll make it right.
Good, good.
I'm a team player.
You are.
Is there anybody else on Zoom that has public comment?
I was gonna move to the other side.
Because
of the
we
table.
shouldn't have closed our meeting without
No
public comment.
No, I see none. Any board comment? Great job, ladies.
Let's end the meeting. again.
That's the news and we're out of here.
Is that off? Yeah, you can have those.
I don't know.
Is this off? Zoom
They
off?
want us to go on the 20th.
That was the third was the best for
You turn off the camera.
Donna. Can't go either
Hang on.
one.
Hang on, turn off the camera, stop the recording.